What was good is beyond football, the lessons and the guidance that we all learned and we all remember in our hearts. And the way he touched all of us, Lisa and I were talking about the way he touched, their hearts, the cheerleaders and the spirit squad. It wasn't just the football players, the equipment managers, all of us. It was everybody that came in contact with. I've talked to people who knew Coach Joe in areas of, outside of football, that he touched their lives. So we all know about our personal, experiences and those experiences that we have. So tonight we're going to honor Coach and recognize something a little different. As y'all see, we have something a little different here. If you come up and look, we have some memorabilia. This is the actual combat uniform that Coach Joe wore when he was at war in Italy and Germany. And I kind of touched it, and it gave me chills. It's amazing. The history just right here, it's amazing.
On behalf of the Eunice VFW Post 8971, I'd like to thank all of you for inviting us to come today and tell you a little bit about one of our previous members and our brother in arms, Joe Nagata. The people standing behind me to my far left is Gene Olivier. Gene Olivier is past commander of our post and currently a district commander of the VFW here. Next to him is Terry Mott. Terry Mott is a past commander of our VFW post. To my right, far right, well, let me say to his left, to my right, in the middle here, Donald Estelle, who is the chaplain for our district and a member of our post. And then to the far right, I got Roger Vaillant, the immediate past commander. Roger Vaillant also has the distinct honor of being recognized as an All-American commander for our post. September 1st, 1924, Joe Nagata was born in Montgomery, Alabama. His father, Yoshiyuki Nagata, was a Japanese immigrant. His mother, Edith Nagata, was a Caucasian woman of Irish ancestry from Ohio. In 1937, Joe's family moved to Eunice, Louisiana, and set up a small business. The business was called the Eunice Market. It was a produce store. In 1941, Joe Nagata graduated from high school. He was 17 years old. He had made an all-star football team. He played in all-star games in Louisiana and in Texas. He was awarded a scholarship to LSU. Joe was a hero. December 7th, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, which immediately brought the U.S. into World War II. On December 11th, 1941, Germany and Italy declared war against the United States. The United States in turn declared war against Germany and Italy. On February the 19th, 1942, President Roosevelt issued an executive order 9066, which allowed the internment of American-born Japanese. The American-born Japanese were interned for the duration of the war. All American-born Japanese were reclassified in the draft from 1A to 4C, which meant they became enemy aliens overnight. Joe Nagata's family was investigated by the FBI extensively. They closed their store for a period of about 3 days. The citizens of Eunice were horrified. The citizens of Eunice practically ran the FBI out of town on a rail. They reopened the Nagata store and they stayed open. And Joe Nagata went to LSU to play football and to major in agriculture. May 26, 1942, General George Marshall formed the Hawaiian Provincial Battalion, which allowed American-born Japanese to serve their country in the war. Joe was still 17 years old. March 23, 1943, the 442nd Regimental Combat Team was organized. It was a segregated unit consisting of Japanese American-born soldiers. Within a month, 2,686 American Japanese volunteers from Hawaii and 1,500 from the U.S. mainland were in Camp Shelby, Mississippi, taking basic training. The unit eventually grew, and it processed, over the course of the war, over 14,000 men in total. The 442nd included three infantry divisions, the 522nd Field Artillery Battalion, the 232nd Combat Engineers Company, an anti-tank company, a cannon company, a medical detachment, and the 206th Army Ground Forces Band. January 1st, 1944, LSU won the Orange Bowl for the first time against Texas A&M. The key play in the game involved Joe Nagata, who was playing in the fullback position. He took a direct snap from the center, and he handed it off to Steve Van Buren. Steve later would be elected to the Pro Hall of Fame in the NFL. Steve scored a touchdown. LSU won 19-14. This after losing to Texas A&M 28-13 in the third game of the regular season. Joe was a hero. May 1st, 1944, the 442nd left for Italy, where he joined and ultimately incorporated the 100th Infantry Battalion, which was another American-Japanese unit. And they joined him just north of Rome. June 6, 1944, was D-Day. June 22nd, 1944. Joe quit LSU and was inducted into the U.S. Army, Fort Polk, Louisiana. Joe was 19 years old. He earned the expert badge in basic training with a .30 caliber M1 rifle. From August 28, 1944 to March 7, 1945, Joe Nagata was in advanced infantry training. On March 7, 1945 through March 18, 1945, when Joe was 21 years old, he was assigned to the 442nd Division, previously called a Hawaiian Provincial Battalion. He was promoted to platoon leader. He was transported to the European Theater of Operation on a troop ship across the Atlantic. March 18, 1945 through August 11, 1946, when Joe was 22 years old, he had experienced some of the bloodiest battles in Europe. On April 12, 1945, President Franklin Roosevelt died. On April 28, 1945, Benito Mussolini was hanged by Italian partisans. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. May 7th, 1945, the Germans signed an unconditional agreement to surrender at World War II. August 6th, 1945, the United States dropped the first atomic bomb at Hiroshima, Japan. August the 9th, they dropped the second atomic bomb on Nagasaki, Japan. That November the 22nd, Joe Nagata was promoted to Staff Sergeant. Joe was a hero. His awards included the Bronze Star, the Distinguished Unit Badge with the Bronze Cluster, World War II Victory Medal, a Good Conduct Medal, a lapel pin that was referred to by all World War II as a ruptured duck, the European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal with 3 Bronze Stars, signifying 3 campaigns, Northern Italy, Po Valley, and the Rhineland. In a dramatic nighttime march up the steep slopes of Mount Fogarito, the 442nd broke through the German defenses, allowing the Allies to chase the German army until it finally surrendered on May 2nd, 1945. Joe Nagata was a hero amongst heroes in this battle. Allow me to explain a little bit what Joe Nagata and the 442nd and the rest of the Allied fighting forces were up against in that final battle in Italy in the Second World War. Using more than 15,000 slave laborers, the Germans created more than 2,000 well-fortified machine gun nests, casements, bunkers, observation posts, and artillery fighting positions to repel any attempts to breach the Gothic line. The Gothic line was supposed to prevent the Allied forces from advancing through Italy into Austria and finally to Germany and Berlin. The Gothic line was not a continuous line of fortification, but rather a series of strong points arranged in depth, exploiting the natural mountainous terrain in northern Italy. It benefited in favor of the defender, which was Germans. Traversing the Italian mainland from the north coast near Genoa to the Adriatic Sea in Rimini, the line extended for more than 187 miles. It included thousands of field fortifications made of wood, rock, or steel-girded concrete, and included long anti-tank ditches, extended minefields in wire emplacements, completed the picture. The Fifth Army was ordered to take out the machine gun nest. They battled from September 1944 through March 1945 with little to no success. The 442nd was brought into the battle just prior to April. It broke through on April 21st. I cannot ascertain how many of the 442nd were lost among the were lost, but I do know that 30,683 in total of Allied troops were killed in this battle. Among the 442nd that survived it was Joe Nagata. Joe Nagata was a hero. Ultimately, the 522nd Field Artillery Battalion was detached and sent to support the invasion of Germany by the 7th Army. In the process, the American Japanese discovered and liberated Jews from various subunits of the notorious Dachau extermination camp. Now, the aftermath and the legacy of the 442nd. The 442nd with the 100th Battalion in just over a year compiled an outstanding combat record. The 442nd is the most decorated unit in the U.S. military history for its size and the length of service. With its component 100th Infantry Battalion earning the nickname the Purple Heart Battalion due to the number injured in combat. They won 7 distinguished unit citations, including one awarded personally by President Truman, who said, and I quote, "You fought the enemy abroad and prejudice at home, and you won," unquote. They got 22 Legions of Merit medals. They got 15 Soldiers medals. They got 21 Medals of Honor. They got over 9,486 Purple Hearts. They had 52 Distinguished Service Medals, including 19 Distinguished Service Crosses, which were upgraded to Medals of Honor in the year 2000. 560 Silver Stars, plus 28 Oak Leaf Clusters for the second award of a Silver Star, and 4,000 Bronze Stars. In March 1946, the last Japanese internment camp closed. May 11, 1946 to 8/23, 1946, Joe was transported back to the U.S. on a troop ship crossing the Atlantic. May 23 to 8/29, he traveled by train to Fort Polk, Louisiana. On 8/29, Joe was discharged from the Army at Fort Bragg. He was mustered out with $580.67 in pay. He returned to LSU to finish his degree. In 1949, Joe married Janora Brown. All of y'all know her as Jen. They returned to Eunice, where Joe went on to coach football at both Eunice High School and at St. Ed's. Joe and Jen raised 2 daughters and a son. One of his daughters is here tonight. Thank you very much. He instilled pride and self-confidence in many, many young high school students and football players. Joe was their hero. 1959 is when Hawaii became a state. 2001, Joe joined his fallen comrades of the 442nd Infantry Regiment Combat Team. Joe was 77 when he joined them in heaven. 2008, Joe was inducted into the Louisiana High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame. 2010, the Congressional Gold Medal was awarded to the 442nd Regiment Combat Team and the associated units who served during World War II. In 2012, all surviving members of the 442nd were made Chevaliers in the French Legion d'Honneur for their actions contributing to the liberation of France and their heroic rescue of the lost battalion. Several times in this presentation, I said that Joe was a hero. Joe never said that. Joe said that he fought with the bravest men he ever met. The American Japanese soldiers from Hawaii were the toughest. Their parents were in camps detained by the federal government, their own federal government. These men were determined to prove that they were true Americans and good soldiers. He said he and his American-born Japanese comrades were always told to take the high ground. It's just that the high ground was always full of Germans. Joe was a first-class American. Joe was a hero. We salute you, Joe Nagata. Honor Guard. Present arms. Honor Guard. Order. Arms. Honor Guard dismissed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Anybody want to follow him? Thank you, Mr. Reber. Thank you all very much for being here and giving us a little incredible history lesson on the 442 in that war.